practice.
Now we're
Excellent.
recording.
All right. So before we get into too much work, just like take a couple deep breaths and make sure your shoulders are relaxed. My shoulders are relaxed.
I'm sitting in a strange chair because I'm in the office today. So that's why the angle of the
Unfamiliar.
video is slightly different.
All right. Before we dive into exercises what have you been working on? Do you want to show me anything or check in with anything and talk about any sounds?
I love the stories you gave me. So I might actually just open the document myself to remind myself. 1 second.
Stories.
Oh,
Like which story?
yeah. On the V&W worksheet, there
Excellent.
was a couple of like longer form stories, and I found those very interesting to practice because it was more like a free flowing, almost conversation-y type exercise for me to do. And I was recording myself just I was doing them less for the V&W type stuff. Like I found that easier to practice with like individual words and sentences where I would focus on it. But I also liked it as an exercise where I just speak freely for a long time because I could record myself and then like zoom into particular things that I didn't like. And I saw you selected, you selected the stress lesson, which I dove into, and then you added the schwa on set, so that'll be interesting. I went through the W and V worksheet, and then I went back into the sentences because I like those. And there was another one that you gave me, which was, I had so much fun doing this, and it really annoyed my boyfriend. The glottal stop sounds with the flap keys, because you gave me the use it in sentences, and I told you about Buttergate before, right?
Yeah.
One of the like, I guess, word clusters you gave me was butter garden wouldn't, and I was like, I was sitting in the kitchen going, the butter wouldn't have gotten harder if it wouldn't have been for Buttergate.
I
He
love
was like,
that.
what are you saying?
Doesn't have to be Shakespeare. I say the practice sentences. The butter wouldn't have gotten harder.
And then he turned around and said, what are you saying? And I answered with, you should better burden an accountant with that.
Yeah, it was just nonsense. Just word salad, basically. That's what the worksheets are. That's the sentences I make up, the tongue twisters.
I had a lot of fun.
I'm glad to hear that. If it's fun, it's like more enjoyable to do the work. It's less like work feeling, right?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like work. I do it as I do it as something like it's actually like getting back into my routine and into my exercises. It's been a really good thing for me to have it in the back of my head that I need to do it. So that it kind of forced me to stop working at a certain time so that I had enough time in my evening to go and practice, which is actually really nice. So you're
like
helping my work-life balance.
That's just can I say I love that. I love to hear that. So you like work until a reasonable time, and then it's like, okay, now it's time for the speech practice. So
yes,
that's like, to your boss or like, sorry, I can't work. My coach is making me practice. You can always blame me if you want to. Sorry, coach says. I like to hear that, and I like to hear the work-life balance. I'm so pleased that you're enjoying this. This is our 8th session, I think. So usually at this point, people feel like they've had a noticeable change, but it's not huge, right? Do you have a noticeable change you feel in your accent?
I think so.
Yeah.
Something really funny happened. as I was, because I had my parents visiting over the last 10 days, they've just gone home. So they're now, they just got back to Austria this morning. And uh, when we went to restaurants, it was, people couldn't place where we were from because I would do most of the talking and then they heard us speak in another language. So it happened like 2 or 3 times that people just assumed that we were French Canadian and they gave us the machine to pay and they would put it into French to help
Yes.
us.
Oh no. Wow. Fooling the servers. Does that feel satisfying that people can't guess where you're from, that it's more ambiguous, it's more global?
It's it definitely makes for I guess interesting conversations. um
You have a beautiful blend of language experience, and that gives you your unique voice and accent.
yes.
So people are probably interested in hearing that. It's like, why are you choosing me to be your thing to be interested in learning about in terms of my accent? You know, someone wants to know where you're from and all this stuff, and it's just like, I'm from like Vancouver by now, right? I'm from Vancouver. Yeah. So you don't need to be anyone's kind of like fascinating project to learn about if they listen to your accent, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to like, you don't feel like you have to talk to people about your accent, do you?
No.
No, nobody bothers you about it.
No, not really. If anything, since we started working, it's maybe become less so because my accent was more stereotypically different before we started our sessions. So I feel like the amount of questions that people ask has definitely gone back. Like it's maybe it just sounds more familiar to how they speak because I mostly speak to people who have Americanish accents. So I feel like I'm noticing that people mention it less.
Okay. I like hearing that. Mention it less. I started writing aren't commenting as much, but mention it less is like more satisfying, more beautiful way to put it. All right, well, let's get down to some work now and continue to work on this Canadian American accent of yours. Schwa vowels. What do you think about doing those first?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we talked about schwas with the stress lesson last time, like repeat, return, like that with a consonant leading in. These are just the schwas with no consonant. And so the schwa is like the first syllable, but it doesn't have stress. And then you can stress the second syllable. So it'll always be bigger and louder and more pitch, like higher in pitch, like about, da, da. So why not try these? They're not minimal pairs, they're just examples. So you could either do them like this or each one like that, putting a sentence between each one. What would you prefer?
I'm still seeing the main document. So I don't know if you're just sharing the document.
Oh, I have to share this tab too. Okay. View tab. Now let's go to this one. Share this tab instead. I figured it out.
There we are.
All right, go ahead.
Am I just reading the line or sorry?
You want to go across and do like the 2 words and the sentence, or do you want to do down like words, and then sentence, sentence? Because this is more about going down is about repetition and going across is about contrasting.
I tend to with the other ones that we've done, I tend to prefer to contrast. So let me go across, and then if it doesn't work, we can always do something different. Okay. There'll be about account.
Good, perfect.
And then the sentence is we talked about putting accounting protocols in effect.
Excellent. I just want to hear talked with less rounding and more ah.
Talked. Talked.
That's perfect. Yeah, talked like that.
That's a thing that I noticed when I was recording myself. Like sometimes I would still do. Sometimes I would naturally just, I guess, just from repetition and from hearing other people, I would do the American vowel sound, and then sometimes I would do the British vowel sound that I learned in England. And
A little bit spicy. Like talked, like we talked.
Talked.
Versus talked, we talked, like a more American, and then Canadians more like talked.
Talked.
What are you talking about? Talking about. You could be able to do all three, and you can just pull them out like a party trick, right?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so do that one sentence again with the new talked, and then
We talked about putting accounting protocols in effect.
accounting. You even did that. You took the T away. Nicely done. Protocols with pro. Try it with an O sound. Protocols.
Protocols.
Yeah. Protocols, like with that flap, that sounded good.
Protocols.
Good. Let's try the next sentence. Next line.
Adore, afford.
Perfect.
I just adore affordable organs.
Good. Those R's all sounded good. Did you feel any of them scared you?
No, they seem normal now. Like I know I've spent several sessions saying how weird and different the R's feel, and now I sometimes notice myself doing it, and sometimes I do them just naturally, to the great entertainment of everyone around me.
It's like, is there going to be an R? Who knows? It's Schrodinger's R. Will Daniel say R? We don't know. Yeah. That sounded really good. You're hitting those ors, those kind of the rounded R, like vowel R sound. Because we have, I probably showed you. Is it time to bust out my sheet? The vowel R sound, or that is like baked in. You can't say this without the R. So when we have them combined, we make these little like combination symbols. Like these ones are tied together, but that one's like a compound of the two. Next line, please.
Again, adjust.
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 Yeah.
Oh,
there's a tip in here for connection. I think I put that in my last lesson.
I had to adjust my speed again after turning left.
I like that. To adjust, you linked those vowels together perfectly. With had, can you do more of like an like had?
I had
Good.
to adjust my speed again after turning left.
Good. Give the after the same as had. That's all I want.
I had to adjust my speed again after turning left.
Perfection. Ding. Next.
Acclaim, occlude.
Wait, one sec. It seemed like you're tempted for the O to go occlude. And that's because you see the O, right?
Yeah.
Mouth sees shape. Do it the same as the like acclaim.
Okay, acclaim.
It sounds kind of weird at first, but that's how everyone's doing it, right? Occlude. Instead of occlude, like
that's also something. Like when I was doing the stories, I noticed that sounded off, but I couldn't tell. Like when I couldn't tell why it was sounding off, because I had watched other videos on YouTube, just discussing schwa and when it happens and like what the effects of it are, but I don't claim to fully understand it yet. This is like a break glass moment. I think. I think now I actually need to do it.
It's tempting to say an O sound when we see the O letter. Like a lot of our letters are kind of related to the sound. Have you heard of sound symbolism?
No.
Think about the shape for the letter K and how it's like, right? And then the shape for the letter B and it's like B. Like B is like a blob and K is like a pointy. Does that make like?
Yep. Yeah. No, it makes
Not
sense.
all of our sounds are like this, but we have some of this stuff. So when our brain sees the O, it wants to round lips. So you have to kind of occlude like that. It's so lazy. Occlude. Occlude.
Occlude. Okay.
Now do the sentence.
The critically acclaimed novel was about occlusion.
Excellent. Excellent. Do I have
Then
an
we've
issue
got
with novel? Let me hear a novel with the ah from talked.
okay.
Novel.
Novel.
All right.
Ah.
Do the sentence one more time with the new sounds.
The critically acclaimed novel was about occlusion.
You did exactly what I was going to say. Was you changed it to so you know what I'm thinking already.
No, as I'm saying, like, I tried to like learn about how the schwa sound works, and it never really made sense to me, and now it's starting to make sense.
Yeah, it's just like a joint. It's like you have 2 points and you need to join them, and it's just like the laziest path. It's like a desire path when people just walk on the grass instead, and it like makes a new path. Have you heard of this term, desire path?
Desire path? No.
It's just like people will make a shortcut just for ease of use. So you can think of like the schwa as like the glue between these 2 bits. Like the consonants are definite starting and stopping places. You have to do something with your articulators, and then the schwa is like resting between them. So if you have to make a connection with your articulators at the beginning and end, the middle is just this lazy neutral mouth, no rounding sound. And because of using that in some words, now it's everywhere, replacing the tense E sound. So this is like the last 20 years. People are saying repeat, restore instead of repeat, restore. So in my mind, the schwa is replacing almost every single unstressed vowel in our language. Like think of the British pronunciation of Peloton, and then the Peloton, people say Peloton in America. So Peloton, that's like a schwa at the end. So we could be going in that direction with the American accent to say Peloton, just to make that syllable less stressed.
I see.
It's like, can you tell I'm watching cycling racing because I'm like talking about the Peloton, the Giro d'Italia is on. Okay, so let's go to the next sentence. I'm deleting these clues for the next person. No freebies.
Okay. Alive, alone. The garden is alive. It grows on water and sunlight alone.
Just gonna give you one cue. Wow.
Wow. Okay. The garden is alive. It grows on water and sunlight alone.
That was fantastic. I love you. The N in garden, you're doing that like internal release on there. You know, that's so good. That's very satisfying to hear. Look at all the progress you've made. Look at all the stuff you know. I'm impressed.
I was actually like yesterday. I was reading the stories, and that was I was concerned about not making a lot of progress because I was away and I didn't get a lot of time to practice. But when I was doing the stories and when I was focusing in on it, I did recognize that I had made lots of progress. So that was it's nice of you. It's nice of you to also recognize it.
Yeah, when you take time off, you're like worried about your progress, but sometimes taking that time off shows you how much you've learned, and also helps with memorization, because if you take a break and then redo something, it like puts it in long-term memory storage.
Once again, like your gym analogy, sometimes you need to take rest to read. Like sometimes you take a day or two of rest, and then you look at yourself in the mirror, and you suddenly see all the muscles come out.
Totally. Yeah, actually, there's half the time at the gym is resting. Like, you
Yeah.
know, half our life we need to be resting. So there's no progress without rest. Yeah. There's no
Right.
sound without silence. You know, we need to have these things. So well done.
Allure,
Yes.
allow.
Perfect.
What's the allure of allowing one to hedge their bets? That was weird. Let me do this one again because I didn't know where the sentence was going. uh, what's the allure of allowing one to hedge their bets?
Nice. You fixed there with the D and the R sound. That sounded so good. Do you want nitpicking in every single sentence?
Yes.
So what we're gonna do like was. What's the
What?
allure? Because you say what's the allure, it's more British.
Mm.
What's the allure?
What's the allure?
And we're saying the allure with a Y joining them. The allure.
What? What's the allure
Yeah.
of allowing one to hedge their bets?
Good. That's a lot of targets, right? TH, we have the W, we have the vowel, we have the R sound, the schwa. You know, some of these sounds wouldn't have been in your native language. So good job.
Then we've
And you
got
did sentences.
amount and amok. What's an amok or what's amok?
This is, it looks weird, right? It's a borrowed word from Indonesian and amok.
Amok.
And people sometimes spell it like this just because of the hearing. Like you're mucking around. Mucking around is like messing around, right? This means, have you heard the term going postal?
Yeah.
It's like that. So it's like someone going on a killing spree or a rampage or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, so it is what I was I was thinking that. I don't know why I was thinking that, but I didn't think it meant that in English. I thought it
It could also just mean making a huge mess, like, oh, they were running amok. But originally it's like, yeah, it's like a violent spree of killing people or hurting people or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But making a mess too.
Running
It's always
amok.
with running. I apologize, sorry about that. It's always with running. This is like a compound phrase. So let me hear.
Running amok takes large amounts of energy. You'd think that.
Let me just highlight that.
Energy.
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 Yes. Nice.
Energy.
That sounds great. Energy. It's a sneaky little like schwa R in between there, right? It's the smallest R. This is the sound. It's like with like
energy.
Yeah, energy. Energy. That sounded great. Next line, please.
Appraise, approach.
Perfect.
We should approach and appraise the situation carefully.
Excellent. TH was on point. R was on point. You connected should and approach nice with that connection, like should approach.
Should approach.
Nothing wrong there. That was flawless.
I say stuff like this at work a lot, so I get a lot of practice.
It sounds smart though.
How should we approach
this is one of my sentences that sounds smart.
It gives you a lot of time because it doesn't actually deliver any information. So.
Yeah, but you're contributing, right? You're saying something. And
okay, approve, appoint.
Excellent.
The board will vote, approve, and appoint a new chair.
That was really nice. That appoint, you kind of took the T off the end, so you're getting that NT thing really nicely. Can I hear these two back to back?
Oh.
I'm not sure if I heard them before, so.
The board will vote.
Will
vote.
Yeah. So the first time I heard it was kind of Boardville. So board, you have to push the lips out so that the teeth won't be able to touch them. The board will vote. Let me hear that.
The board will vote. The ah, the board will vote.
Excellent. Nice dark L.
Mhm.
Perfect WV on sets. Now all the whole sentence together. I'm going to make you do.
Mhm. The board will vote, approve, and appoint a new chair.
Perfect. And you said new, not with the new sound. You said new, fully American sounding.
New.
So did you even think about that, or is that just
No.
saying those like that?
No,
now? Yay!
that sort of happened. There's a lot of stuff that happens because we go into detail with other with other things. I guess the brain just then starts running with it, and it starts auto correcting other things.
Autocorrect. I love that. Well, it sounds good. So sometimes you need to remind yourself, oh yeah, I made that progress too. Like, didn't notice that. Like that came along. Next sentence, please.
Apply, acquire.
Perfect.
I will apply for the no, sorry, I should have I'll start again. I will apply for then acquire student loans.
Everything was really good, but this little ending here, let me hear stronger.
Acquire student loans.
Yeah. Excellent.
I think initially I said acquire.
Yeah. Acquire. It sounded nice, but it was like the R wasn't strong enough.
Mm.
The R is, it's a delicate beast, you know? You don't want to make it too strong or people will think you're French Canadian. In a restaurant, maybe.
Yeah.
No hate on the French Canadian accent. I love it. But the R's are really strong. They'll say acquire.
It's one of my favorites. Yeah, they really overdo that. Like it's I don't know if overdoing is necessarily the right term, but that's like very distinct, very different from a French accent.
that's the like one, if you can't hang on to like any other feature that differentiates them, that one is a really good one. Because some people would struggle to say how they're different. Okay, I think let's do the next line.
Okay, acquaint and arrive.
Excellent.
Once you arrive, acquaint yourself with the facilities. Facility.
Just this little
yourself.
Bit here. Yeah, acquaint yourself.
Acquaint yourself.
Yeah, it's the tiny little, it's the baby schwa R sound. Acquaint yourself. Your.
So
it looks like your with like an O, but it's your, no round. Yourself.
Okay, I see. Yourself.
Yeah, and then the sentence again with that new sound.
Once you arrive, acquaint yourself with the facility.
I think it.
I didn't do that right.
Let me hear one more time.
Once you arrive, acquaint yourself with the facility.
Good, excellent. Good job. Let me hear the next one.
Arrange, arrears.
Good. Arrears, maybe.
Arrears. Yeah,
that one's tough.
I was skipping over the second R. I was just like, arrears. Yeah. I need to make arrangements as my loans are in arrears. Arrears.
Let me like.
I'm not used to saying that second R in that word.
No, it's arrear. Like that. Think of like something that belongs to someone's rear.
Arrears. Yeah.
That might help.
I need to make arrangements as my loans are in arrears.
Excellent. Yeah. As my loans. The M, the Y sound, again, this is just nitpicking, but that's what you're paying for. By being my student.
What I want.
My loans. Yeah.
My loans.
Yeah. Because it sounded like Malone's before. My loans. So as my loans are in arrears.
As my loans are in arrears.
Lovely. I'm going to make you do all these sentences. If you have time, if you want.
I have got half an hour now. As long as you don't have anything.
I did fun stuff already today. I don't have anything cool happening. Probably just watch hockey, honestly.
So Canadian of you.
Yeah, Western Conference Finals tonight. So
that's one thing that my parents have to come back for. They wanted to watch a hockey game and they didn't get a chance to do it. So they're gonna have to come again.
Yep. Sorry. You have to see the hockey though. It's like it's not a visit to Canada without seeing some hockey.
I did buy a customized Vancouver Canucks shirt for my dad, which he loved, which
I
was
love that.
far too expensive.
I have a Canucks sweater I found in the thrift store. I was like, okay, like it was only like $15, and I'm like, this is worth so much. I'm not even gonna sell it. I'm gonna wear it. It's so nice. I'm gonna wear it.
People will think I'm rich.
Yeah, right. It's like, hey, it feels good though. It feels good to support it.
Now, these two are interesting because I hear people in Canada like overdo the O sound to say, instead of saying like around, they would say around, and I guess astuned.
Kind of like the aboot that people say.
Yes.
Have you watched JJ McCullough on YouTube?
Oh yeah, he is.
He is
not,
so
not
intense.
the person I'm thinking of right now, but he's very intense with it.
Yeah, his pronunciation of a ruined and a boot. I thought for a minute he was like trolling, but he does it so frequently that it's like part of his accent now. So, it's the only part of his accent that I think is unusual. Is that really strong? Because he's in Ontario, and you would assume like a boat in the water. Like, oh, we're gonna go a boat, not a boot. Like. A boot is like a bit far. Anywho, so now that you've said around, around, good.
Astound.
Perfect.
I look around and I'm just astounded by everything. Astounded. Sorry, yeah. I didn't see that. I was just what I just said is not grammatically correct.
Whatever.
Yes. I'll do it again.
Okay.
I look around and I'm just astounded by everything.
Excellent. The Y sounded by, so good. And I'm that I'm sound was nice instead of I'm just astounded. So excellent diphthongs there. What you're doing with your diphthong sounds really nice.
Asleep and assume. You're still thinking about a rune, aren't you?
I'm thinking about diphthongs and how like silly that word is. Diphthongs.
Don't assume someone is asleep.
Perfect. You did the assume without the yeah, which now that's old by now. We don't even need to talk about it. Basically. Assume you didn't do that. So next one.
Attain attack. I would like to attain a higher attack status with cycling.
I have two. Higher attack. Use the R to start the attack. Higher attack.
Yeah, swallow that R again. Yeah. I would like to attain a higher attack status with cycling.
Lovely. Status, I think people usually say status, like but it's not wrong because that's like the full pronunciation of it, right? Status. It's just like envelope.
Status.
It's not that
yeah. People say that I don't know if it's a regional thing, but I hear people use it. I also hear people use it interchangeably sometimes. But yeah.
Within one speaker, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's just like a mood, a whim. Sounded great though. You connected the R to the next word, so that's excellent. Let me hear this. This is the penultimate line. Let us hear the second to last line.
Atone, avoid.
I want a bigger V on a void.
Oh, okay. I was skipping over that. A tone, a void,
Yeah, like we're talking about
a
void.
void.
Good.
You can't avoid mistakes, but you can atone for them.
Good. That R, you didn't swallow that up.
Nah.
For them. You can kind of minimize this a little bit and say like for them.
Boredom.
Yeah. For them.
You can't avoid mistakes, but you can atone for them.
Tone. Let me hear fur like that. Fur. For them.
For them.
For
them.
For
them.
Aha. Your F was your TH before, so this is difficult. Or it should be difficult for you.
For them.
For them, yeah. If you were using F as TH before, for them. That sounds good. You can always minimize for to fur.
Okay.
Unless it's the beginning of the sentence, like for sure. Let's do the last line. And then yeah, I don't want to make you work anymore. You did enough work.
I can do the other one as because you've linked 2 documents today, so I can do the other one as homework, and I can send you a recording of it because I still haven't done that. But I'm taking career coaching right now, and they had like a strict rule of you only get time during the sessions. So I'm like, it's really good, but it's like, I'm going to share a document with you, not so that you can just read it. And they were like, no, you can't. You have to talk us through it in the session. So, okay.
What? Oh, that's weird. They don't want you like studying in advance, I guess.
Well, no, they've given me stuff as homework, but then I'm like, I'll share it with you so you can see my progress. And they were like, no.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah. That's like that should be something a coach or a teacher should be open to.
Yeah, I guess
it depends
everyone's
on the
got
thing.
a different style, but
for sure. Yeah, okay. I have sorry, go on.
Sorry.
Let's do the last line.
A vow, a wash.
Yeah.
I hereby a vow to clean the deck, which was a wash.
That sounded great. The R in hereby. It was there.
Hereby.
It wasn't super powerful, but that's okay because we need to have a gentle R sometimes.
One person who I work with on the GitHub side, their internal GitHub name is. Oh, I hope they don't watch this and be like, "Oh, this is really bad for my privacy." Rhoticity.
Rhoticity?
Yeah, rhoticity.
That's the word to describe R sounds.
How rhotic your R's are.
Yeah.
Yes. And their description is rhoticity. Rhoticity means how rhotic your R is, kind of a thing. But they have that's their GitHub public handle, and then they've because on the GitHub side everyone has a handle. I just have Daniel Stocker, like what I have on YouTube, what I have in other places. But a lot of hubbers have got more creative names, and I thought that was pretty creative.
Hubbers, I'm like, that sounds like a linguist. Sounds like someone's into linguistics there. I love linguists. They're quirky people, right?
Yeah.
Not normal.
They told me in a very nice way that they disagreed with what I was saying.
Oh.
They were right though. So I asked for something that was completely out of scope, and they said, "Thank you, but no, thank you."
Yeah, it reminds me of like rotisserie chicken, like roticity, roticity chicken. It's funny that the words used to describe these linguistic things are themselves kind of hard to say, like diphthong. It's a PH and then a TH, right? People say diphthong. And rhoticity is kind of difficult too. So good job today on this. You've seen the stress lesson before, so you can just do that repetition with the consonant schwa on sets.
I pre-practiced it a little bit because I was hoping we would do it.
Oh, do you want to do a few of them?
And
do you want to do a few of them?
Oh, no, no, no,
Like,
it's fine. I'll do them as homework and I'll send you the
okay.
samples. And then if you want to if you feel like we should practice them more in a session,
Yeah.
then we can do that
Okay,
next time.
perfect. Yeah, that'd be great. No harm in going over activities again and again, just like going to the gym, you know?
Yeah, and I like that everything's linked in the main document because I can always go back. Or when I run out, I always really like the sentence compounds to go back to because it makes you practice several things together and it's like closer to natural speech because it's one thing to know to like focus in on one word and knowing exactly how to say it, and there is another dimension to it when you're actually using it in complete sentences.
Yeah, it's a different animal. The words and when they're connected, right? Assimilation. That's what squeezes them together. Yes, good work today. I guess I'll see you next week.
Yeah. See you next week. I'll
Have
book you.
a fabulous rest of your week.
I enjoyed the. Did you say you were going to watch the cycling or hockey? You were
Yeah,
going to
I'm
watch
watching the
hockey.
Giro d'Italia. Now we can talk about sports. I'm watching the Stanley Cup playoffs. I was cheering for the Oilers because I was born in Edmonton, but they lost to Vegas, and now I'm cheering for Vegas just to like transfer the excitement to a new team.
It must be good because you beat our home team.
Yeah, they beat the Oilers, so they did. It was amazing. The Giro d'Italia is on right now, so it was like there's only 2 or 3 stages left. Mm-hmm. So the Welshman, Geraint Thomas, he had his birthday today, 37 years old. He wore the pink jersey. And I'm like, I'm 37. Maybe I could be good in cycling. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be a professional cyclist, but it's encouraging to see that.
You cycle up Cypress Mountain. So that's very, very impressive to me because I would totally run up it, but I cannot cycle for the life of me.
I couldn't run for the life of me. It's a good thing. I'm like, the bike does all the work. I'm like, do people know that about biking? The bike does all the work, and you have gears that like, well, unless you have a fixed gear bike, but the gears do all the work, right? You use geometry to your advantage.
I disagree.
You're not into cycling. That means you'll never become a triathlete, which is nice because triathletes are annoying.
See, people keep saying to me that I should do a triathlon, but that's because they've never seen me cycle.
You like swimming?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a good swimmer, a good runner, but I would completely just fail the cycling section. I feel like I would maybe get off and push the bike.
It's like, yeah, it's taken me a few years to get comfortable with cycling, especially because my disability, my pain is from a cycling accident when I was 20. And now cycling is my painkiller. So some people don't understand that, but I'm just like, you don't need to understand it. It's fine. Yeah. It's like, oh, you still like cycling after that? Like, yep.
That must be good from like a psychological growth perspective as well, because a lot of people would just go, no, I'm never doing that again. So
yeah. I was scared off for a year, and then a year to the day I kind of decided to do it again. But did you read about there was a man cycling through Seymour, and he saw a bear and he hit the bear. His bike hit the bear by accident, but he got out. He got away. There's like a story about it in the news, like for the North Shore. Like, local cyclist hits bear in Seymour, and then I have a cycling partner that I do my cycling training with, and he's like, let's go to Seymour. And I'm like, there's bears there. I don't want to go there. Even though I've gone to Seymour several times. So it's like something like bears would scare me off of going to Seymour for sure. That's what that guy said. He's like, I'm never going there again. I used to go all the time. So definitely one bad encounter will ruin a whole place for sure. You said you like to run 10 kilometers a day, right?
Yeah. Are
you still doing that?
This morning. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I was obviously because last week we didn't meet because I was pretty ill actually. So I'd taken a break, and it's taken me until yesterday to really get back to it because I was still like my voice had gone back to but I was still really struggling to breathe, and I was finding it really hard to do my normal pace,
Yeah.
and it felt really uncomfortable actually. But like yesterday and today was normal, so I'm fine again. Um, and yeah, now with it being warm outside, it's so nice to do it before work in the morning because I just feel so much more awake. I hope I can carry it on for as late in the year as possible, because there's always a point where it gets so cold and dark that I'll have to go inside again.
Yeah.
But
like running on a treadmill, do you do that when you have to?
in if it's miserable outside, I do go on the treadmill. Yeah. I listen to podcasts while I do it, so it's not very super boring, but I
Yeah.
definitely prefer going outside. This I want to go to Wreck Beach this Saturday, and I was thinking maybe I'll run out from town to the beach.
Nice.
I think that's like 15, 20 kilometers. I do want to
Up
like
Spanish Bank.
ramp up. Yeah. I want to ramp up the distance because I want to do the marathon next year.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's so cool. That's intense. Oh my goodness. But Ross, good for you. Like when I see people jogging, I'm like, right on. Like I had to pass these runners and they were keeping up with me, and I'm like, whoa, you guys got a good pace.
Yeah, I sometimes overtake cyclists going up Burrard Bridge.
But they're like, right?
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable for them, but it is genuinely easier. Like I really like running up a hill. That's sort of like I actually have a really good pace going up the hill. I'm actually pretty slow compared to most others going downhill. And I feel like that's tougher when you're cycling. And I've got like lots of respect for cyclists because I would struggle so hard.
It is difficult. It's some of the most difficult times of my life that I'm cycling, for sure. But it's the personal challenge that you take on, and you rise to the challenge that you set for yourself, and you grow, and you can reach your potential. Like
exactly.
Running a marathon or biking in a fondo, which I have in 2.5 weeks. I have an 85-kilometer fondo to do, which fondos are like the marathons of biking.
Oh, okay.
Massive event where everyone's there, and you're not racing, but it's
you're
time.
racing yourself.
You're racing yourself. Yeah, totally. And there's a group at the front of professionals that do a race, and so that's part of it as well, and you get to see that. So very cool. Wonderful. I like talking to you, catching up with you and stuff like that.
I enjoy all of these sessions. Like it's it would be horrible if we didn't get on.
Yeah. Some people after a few lessons, they're just like, they never call me, and they ghost me, and I'm just like, I guess I wasn't right for them. Try not to take it personally.
Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work out, and sometimes they just get busy. Like
Yeah.
It's actually a very common thing with people in Vancouver. I wouldn't take it personally.
Yes, yeah, it's tough to socialize.
People just go up mountains all the time and they get busy.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm gonna get going now, but it was wonderful to like have a personal talk after we did our work. It's like rewarding. It's like we did a good job.
I'll do the other worksheet, and I'll send you samples, and then if you want to do that next session, that's fine. If you want to move on to the next thing, we can do that too.
Okay, sounds great. I look forward to hearing your voice memos.
Right.
Thanks, Daniel. See you next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.